Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Money Podcast, your source for all things money. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Leul Haimanot on the line. He's a realtor over at Your DMV Team Realty. Leul, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Adam. Thanks for having me.
All right, so excited to get today's topic. So things to keep in mind to limit out-of-pocket expenses when purchasing a home. But before we get into that, I want to talk a little bit more about what you're doing over at Your DMV Team Realty. Tell us a little bit more about the company, please.
Sure. So I am a realtor over at Your DMV Team Realty. We've been in business for about the past 8 years. We're your real estate resource for basically anything real estate related for the anywhere in D.C., Maryland, or Virginia.
So let's see. Is there any particular niche or type of client? Because at the end, I'm going to give you the opportunity to leave either your website or social media, email, wherever you want people to follow up with you. But I want to make sure the right people do follow up with you. So that being said, is there any particular client or segment that you focus on?
No, generally we handle all types of clients. We work a lot with first-time home buyers. We work a lot with investors as well. So we deal with a little bit of everything.
Fantastic. Let's get a little bit further into today's topic. So things to keep in mind to limit out-of-pocket expenses when purchasing a home. So as I was telling you in the pre-show, I was like, man, I think I've done over 2,000 interviews, and I don't think I've had one person propose that topic. So awesome idea. That being said, where do you want to start with this one?
Yeah, sure. So if I want to start, I'd start with zero money down loan programs. So there's resources out there for you, especially for example, the USDA loan. That's a loan sponsored by the Department of Agriculture, and it's basically meant to incentivize first-time home buyers to purchase property in developing areas. So that way they're driving people to that area, bettering the economy via, property tax. So they have plenty of programs out there that will give you, 0 to 3.5% down. So USDA loan is where I would start first. If I am a veteran, so if you're a veteran and if you're served for 2 or more years, and their spouse as well, you can apply for a VA loan. That's basically a zero money down and 0% interest. So that's kind of the best scenario. So if that doesn't work out for you, I would look maybe for an FHA loan. So that's the Federal Housing Administration sponsored, and that requires 3.5% down. So that also can limit some out-of-pocket expenses for you. If that doesn't work out, that would work out for sure. But number 3, I would focus on negotiating terms. So basically, especially in this market, in certain market conditions, and if the seller is motivated enough, you can have the seller pay some of your closing costs, if not all of them. And when we're talking about closing costs, that can entail anything from, prepaid taxes and insurance to home inspections, appraisals, surveys, title company fees, loan origination fees. There's a lot of fees that come with this transaction that not a lot of people are aware of. So in a market like this, when a seller is motivated and when there's not a lot of competition, you can have the seller pay some of these closing cost fees. So I would focus on that. I think that's some of the big ways that you can save money. Other than that, you can always ask for what we call the gift money. So basically, if there's anybody that's willing to help you out and give you money for a down payment, you can justify that with your lender. Basically, anytime you sit down with a lender and do a pre-approval, they sit down and basically go over all your incomes and everything that you owe as well. So you need to basically justify every money that is coming in. So they'll look at your salary. They're going to, want to make sure that you still have a job. They're going to want to make sure that you can prove all your incomes. And if they see a big chunk of change in your account, they're going to want to know where it came from. So that can be justified. All you need is a letter from the person giving you the money saying that these monies are for the sole purpose of helping you with the down payment. So that can help you. Not a lot of people think about that, but that's also a small way you can do that. So, to kind of sum it up, I'd say focus on zero money down loans. So you have your USDA and your VA loans. I'd say focus on seller subsidy so you can negotiate for the seller to pay all your closing costs. And I think, or you can apply for a low money down program like the FHA loans to take care of some of those expenses.
That's awesome, Lou. And so one thing I want to touch on just a little bit more, and because I don't think that everybody kind of knows how that part works. So tell us a little bit more about when your realtor is working, with the other realtor and thinking about getting seller concessions. Because like I said, not everybody kind of understands or gets that, especially if it's their first time buying a house.
Okay, so basically, anytime you're negotiating terms, the sell price is not the only thing that you're going to negotiate. You're going to negotiate, the sales price, but you're also going to negotiate, what comes with the property, and you're also going to negotiate closing cost fees. So basically, in certain market conditions, so in our current market conditions, we basically have a situation where, due to the pandemic and everything that happened, we basically saw a reduction in what we call buyer confidence. So not a lot of buyers changed their minds about purchasing a house, so that makes less buyers, and you have a lot more competition, and you have a lot more sellers out there. So basically that means that their house is going to sit on the market for a longer period of time. So therefore that the buyer is going to have leverage on their side to kind of negotiate better terms. And one of those better terms can be, hey, if you can take care of some of my closing costs, if you can take care of some of my fees, then I can go ahead and close the transaction and purchase the house from you right now. So that's kind of a nice push in your direction, so to speak. And, that way you can do it. But, so sometimes it doesn't work. If it's vice versa situation, it might not work. But in these current situations and, with the right situation and a motivated seller, you can get those negotiating terms to sway your way.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it, Lowell. And the reason I bring that up is because, national podcasts with different markets, different things. A lot of different factors that are involved in, especially if the seller maybe has, a certain amount of, equity in the property and they're trying to get into another one and they're like, oh, if I can just do this one little thing, then I'm done. Let's just finish this deal. The number of variables are too many to list on this. But that being said, it's just some good knowledge for the new first time home buyers. On every property I've gotten some type of concession one way or another. So always something to not overlook. But that being said, so look, if somebody's listening to this and they want more information and they want to connect and learn more about what you're doing over at your DMV Team Realty, what's the best way for them to connect with you?
So best way to connect, I am on social media, so I'm on Instagram. It's my name, my first name, Leul, so FLEUL Your DMV Team. You can also look at my team, that's at Your DMV Team on Instagram, or you can always call or email us directly. My email address is leul.yourdmvteam@gmail.com. And please connect with us, and we'll be happy to take care of you or answer any questions you have.
Fantastic. Well, Lou, really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing more about what you're doing over at your DMV Team Realty, and also all the great info on how to limit or keep out-of-pocket expenses down when purchasing a home. And to the audience, as always, thanks for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review on the Apple iTunes Store, and if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Money, then definitely give us a subscribe there, but also leave us some comments in the video. Love to know what kind of things and projects you're working on. And Lowell, thanks again for coming on the show.